Hey y'all, it's Kelly from Dixie Darlings, and I'm back with another tutorial for y'all today. Yes, it is another fun one. I feel like I need to throw that word in every time now just because, but it is fun. And y'all know that I have been obsessed with foils for quite some time. I know that y'all are probably sick of seeing me with foils, but it just adds so many options to what you can do with the tumbler. And Cindy at Southern Belle Glitter has been killing it with her foil game lately. I mean, just every time she comes out with a new batch of colors, I'm even more obsessed, and the most recent one I'm even the most obsessed with. So, and somebody else that's been killing it is Sarah at BAMF Custom Creations. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with, but she does a lot of semi-transparent, opaque, and transparent vinyl, but I'm really obsessed with her semi-transparent vinyl. I love the fact that you can layer it over glitter, you can layer it over other vinyl, and so today you're gonna see me layer it over foil. And it's gonna be a couple of patterns that come from the monthly subscription box. If you guys aren't signed up for this, these patterns are amazing. Like every box that Sarah has come out with, she is killing it. She has such an amazing eye to create like a cohesive box. Every one of them is a theme, and I'm just really, really loving these right now. So, and they're fun. You can layer them over lots of different things. I'm gonna show you how I layer them over foils, so I hope that you guys enjoy that. I will link all the products that I use in the description box below, so make sure you check out those links, as well as I'll include some discount codes for y'all, so make sure you don't miss those discount codes to save you some money. And then jump on over to my Dixie Darlings Tumblers Facebook group. That's where I go live several days a week. It's my opportunity to interact with you guys and see how I can best help you and what tutorials y'all want to see. And we just talk all things, you know, beyond crafts. So guys, beware, there's a lot of talk about hair, makeup, and clothes and crafting. So, but you can hop over there and join me. And then if you want to receive the live notifications, you can go to dixiedarlings.com and sign up for notifications. I send out text messages letting you know when I'm live, either on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or where I'll be. So that's a fun thing too. So I hope that you'll join me there. I hope that you guys enjoy the tutorial, and thank y'all so much for watching. All right, y'all, I'm starting with a 20-ounce skinny straight from Craft Haven. I've spray painted it with Rust-Oleum's 2X matte white. I've let that dry, and now I'm gonna use one of these cat scratch sheets. Y'all see me use these double-sided adhesive sheets. They actually are cat anti-scratch sheets that you put on your furniture to keep the cats from scratching them, but they work really good when you're applying foils to a cup and you're gonna do a full wrap. So I've cut this down to size for this. I basically did not do this with a template. I just trimmed it down, you know, with my Cricut cutter to what I thought the dimensions would be. And then if I needed to trim off a little bit extra, I could do it that way. But I'm basically just making sure that it's going to fit on the cup. And you can see I've just pulled back a little bit on the edge here, on the seam, so I can start it and then just double check myself to make sure it's straight. And I'm going to continue just to press this around. Like you guys have seen me vinyl wrap cups, I basically just kind of hold pressure with one hand, work the other one down the seam, and the backing is coming off of the double-sided adhesive sheets as I'm pressing it around. So I never take the backing fully off until it's finished. And then you can see I'm going to have a little bit of a seam here, so I just basically run my fingernail down through there, and then I'm going to take my craft knife, and I'm actually going to go in at an angle. If you can see, it's almost like I'm going to pick up underneath and then just run my craft knife down there to just take that seam off. So now I'm ready to apply my foils, and I'm going to do the same exact process here. You can see I'm just going to fold back a little bit of that side. I'm going to lay my foils right down on that seam, and then I'm going to press them around just like I applied the double-sided adhesive sheet. And if you need more detail on this, I do have a lot of tutorials where I'm vinyl wrapping cups and different shapes of cups and different sizes that I'll link in the description box below as well. And these foils are Spin Me a Record. I thought they would be so fun to go with this neon pattern from BAMF that I'm going to apply over it. I just thought it was kind of a fun little sparkly pattern that I could see underneath the semi-transparent vinyl. So I was kind of excited to use this one. I mean, y'all, you know I'm obsessed with foils. I want to use every one of them. So I keep trying to find ways, and I hope that y'all don't get tired of it. And normally, y'all, I would just cut clips of me doing this in here and edit out some of it, but I'm actually just going to let it run because I get a lot of questions about how I apply them, fairly seamlessly to the cups without a lot of creases. So I'm doing it in a little bit quicker motion, but I did want to leave it all in here so you can kind of see. And you can see on the tops and the bottom, sometimes you have to go back in and just press over your finger, but these easy release foils that Cindy has are pretty easy, especially when you're doing it over these double-sided adhesive sheets, to get to go fairly smooth on the cup. And I do it just like I vinyl wrap. But I did want to just leave all the process in here. So for those who are new to even vinyl wrapping or using foils, you could kind of see the whole process. And now after I do this, I do go in and use a coat of epoxy. It was not necessary, but I was afraid that I was going to try to apply this semi-transparent vinyl over it and end up messing it up. So I did do a layer of epoxy, but I have done some since then, and it's really not necessary. So I did use about 20 milliliters of Counterculture's medium viscosity. I did a coat. I let that coat dry for about 8 hours, and now I'm going to go in and apply this vinyl from BAMF. I love this semi-transparent vinyl, y'all. You can layer it over so many different things, and I thought it would be a fun thing to kind of pair these neon patterns with this sparkly disco looking foil. So I'm just going to go in on the same seam here, and you can see just like I do the cat scratch sheets and my foils, I kind of have figured out what the process is for me, that I can get it smooth on the cup without making a big mess. Usually it goes on pretty seamlessly, and you can see the top and the bottom here, you're just going to have to work with. This vinyl that's from BAMF is a little bit stiffer than what you're used to probably using as a normal pattern vinyl, but I love it. But you just have to be kind of careful at the top and the bottom, just to make sure that you are, you're getting it pretty smooth, because it's a little bit tougher to get smooth around the rims of the cup. But I'm just going to go ahead, and again here I just push it down, and I'm allowing the backing to come off of the vinyl as I'm pressing it around the cup. So I never take my backing off. And then I'm going to come back around to my seam right here, and I'm just going to trim it. Usually you see me do a piece of tape with an overlap. On this, I didn't, just because of this pattern. I thought it might mess up the pattern a little bit if I created an overlap. So I am just going to trim it right along that seam. This is a stiffer vinyl, so it is a little bit easier to cut along the seam, and it doesn't seem to pull up like some vinyl will when you go to apply epoxy. So once I've got that excess trimmed off, I am going to go around and I'm going to cut right along this line. This just being this square, checkered pattern, it was easy just to trim right along that line, fairly square and level on the cup here. And I was not going to try to pull this around the bottom. I didn't feel it necessary to go all the way around. I didn't kind of want half of the pattern on there. So I just went ahead and trimmed it off at the bottom. And you can pretty much make this fairly smooth on the bottom of the cup when you're doing it this way. And because there are transparent areas in there, I would say for anybody that's struggling with getting it smooth, these are great patterns, because you can actually go in there and cut out little notches in there, right? So you can give yourself a little bit of leeway to get it a little bit smoother than if you're having trouble with that process. And I will take this time while I'm trimming this off just to tell you guys, if y'all have not signed up for the subscription box from BAMF Custom Creations, make sure you do it. I'll link it in the description box below, the website and the discount code for y'all. But she has been killing it with these themes that she's been doing. They're so fun. She makes them relevant to the style of cup that you'd be working on now. If it's a season, a holiday, whatever. She comes out with them plenty of time, and a little bit different and a fun twist. So I've really enjoyed these boxes this year. And next year, I happen to know that they're going to be really fun too. There's going to be a little bit different theme, but they're a lot of fun. So I'm also trimming off the top here. You can see I basically do the same thing here, just trim off the excess on the top. And then I wanted to show y'all about the SVG club that I'm a member of, the Letter by Stephanie Club. This is what your dashboard looks like. And you can see I'm downloading September's. It's going to go into my files, and this is where I use my iPad. It's going to show up as a zip file. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to actually download it into my files. And then when I open that folder up, you can see the individual SVGs. So this is a monthly membership that you sign up for. It's $15 a month, and she has a dozen or so files that she usually puts out there, but usually there's more. It's great, y'all. They're exclusive. You can't find them anywhere else. And you have a limited commercial license for your small business. So it's really great. I love the SVG Club. So you can see here, I'm just importing it into my design space. I was just kind of walking y'all through that process. I just browse my files, pull it in, and then I'm going to delete this one off, and I'm actually going to use another one But I was going to show y'all how I did this because I'm creating an offset of this. So I bring in this I Love Jesus, but I cuss a little. I size it to what I want, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to click the offset button. So I use my iPad. I know that your design center probably looks a little bit different if you're using a laptop, but I'm going to create the offset. I like mine to be small, so you can see I'm just dragging it down here, and I'm actually going to go in and type in because I couldn't get that little button to go small enough, so I usually pull it back up. And if you click on the little box where it shows the distance, it'll pull it up at the bottom and you can actually type in. And I think I do this one at 0.035 is what I end up doing because I wanted it fairly small, just a little bit of outline, but to just give it a little pop in the background. And then I'm just going to save this one. You select done, and then you can see here I just separate out the two because I'm going to use one vinyl for that top layer. So I've actually highlighted that and then I've attached it together. So then I'm going to go in and I'm going to select my matte size. I am going to hit next. It's going to take a few minutes because my machine was working a little bit slower than normal. Here did not want to pull my accessory, but it finally does pull up my Cricut machine. I click that. And then I'm actually going to use some Teckwrap vinyl that is candy color rainbow stripes. And I just wanted to make sure that I go over this with y'all because it is a little bit tougher to cut than your regular vinyl. So once this quits spinning on me here and actually shows y'all the options, I select premium vinyl textured metallic. Then I'm going to go into the pressure and select more. So I just wanted to go over that really quick too. And this is the Teckwrap I was telling you guys about. It is candy color rainbow stripes. And then I'm also going to be using a holographic glossy rainbow that is Teckwrap. And I'll link that in the description box below. So y'all can see I printed out both the decals here. I did the top one in the rainbow stripes and the bottom one in the holographic silver. And then I've just layered them on top of each other. And I'm going to apply my decal to my cup. And then I'm going to go back in with another layer of epoxy after that. I end up doing 2 coats, both of Counterculture's medium viscosity. I use about 20 milliliters on both layers. I do my first layer, I let it dry for about 4 hours, and then I go in and add a second layer just because it took a little bit more to cover up this decal. And just I wanted the top and the bottom really smooth as well. So I apologize for not showing that process. There are other tutorials where I do show you applying the epoxy. I did go back afterwards while I was still on the turner to record it after I'd forgotten to do it. But I hope that you guys enjoy it. I love how this cup turned out. I think it's so fun. I know that we're getting into the fall and winter months, but I love the neons. So thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed my tutorial, please hit the bell button and subscribe so you don't miss my future tutorials. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all again soon.